How's it going, guys? Trader Neil here, back at you with another crypto video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the dump that just happened in the markets, Bitcoin under 90K, and where I see us going within the next potential few days. But before I get started, guys, I would very much appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel at Trader Neil, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. I wanted to let you guys know that I talked about Solana in this video here for my Solana crash video. So I think you guys, if you guys are wondering where my Solana targets are, I think you will very much like to see this video to see where I'm looking to buy Sol. And just before I get started on the video itself, guys, if you want to get all of my trades with, entries, stop losses, take profits, all of that in the above, you guys can join the Unity Academy or the Champs Only Discords here in my link tree in the description below. You guys can join these Discords if you would like, and pretty much in them you can find all of my trades. I talk about Bitcoin, I talk about my analysis over the crypto markets as a whole, but I also give daily trades there. And honestly, like, I hit the Say trade yesterday for a long that perfectly went up like 5% before that dump happened. And if you guys want to know what sniper entries I have on the charts, those are the best places to find them. So definitely join there if you're interested. And if you want to take any of these trades with me that I talk about in the video today, guys, you guys can join me on Phemex or Blowfin. They're both crypto exchanges that you can use in the US just with a VPN. And you guys, if you sign up for Phemex especially, you can get up to $8,800 in welcome rewards. So it's definitely worth it. Alright, guys, so with that out of the way, let's just look at the bubbles for crypto today. So as you guys can see, things are very red across the crypto space. And so you've got a couple of gainers here, some outliers like IP, some of these newer coins like that are outperforming the market. But for the most part, guys, as you can see, things are very, very red across the charts and across these coins. Alts are down collectively like 10 to 15% across the board. And as you guys can see, things are pretty red. But is this a buying opportunity? Well, I think this would be a great time to look at the Fear and Greed Index before we start looking at charts. And so looking at the Fear and Greed Index, guys, this last got updated today. And as you guys can see, we are sitting at extreme fear right now in the markets. So we're at 25, which is usually a good sign for a buying opportunity whenever we are sitting at extreme fear. Even if it's not like, the long-term bottom before an extended rally to the upside, usually extreme fear is a good time to be at least looking to buy the dip. And as you guys can see, if you look at the Fear and Greed Index over time here, which I really like here on the Fear and Greed Index website, that they allow you to look at this, we're back to Fear and Greed Index levels that we saw last year during that summer lull period when Bitcoin was trading at $52,000 to $56,000, guys. And so seeing Bitcoin come down to those same levels is pretty interesting. And if you look at CoinMarketCap's Fear and Greed Index, which I also like this one, and I like looking at this one because, well, their chart here is one that to me is really easy to see and easy to read. Not only are they saying we are in a fear state in the markets, but as you guys can see here, the Fear and Greed Index itself sitting at 29, which is pretty much the low that we saw last year. So last year during the Japanese yen carry trade, whenever markets were hitting like extreme fear levels in the stock market as well as crypto, and the VIX was going off the charts, we hit a Fear and Greed Index of 26 back here. So seeing the Fear and Greed Index on this chart being at 29, to me, is a pretty good sign of at least a local bottom coming up. And so with that being said, even if the factors are all there for a potential local bottom coming up, guys, we've got to be looking at Bitcoin and got to be analyzing the chart itself to be able to, let's just say, get an idea of what we should be looking for if Bitcoin is going to start being bullish again. And so As you guys can see, the main reason why I believe this dump has happened in the charts is because Bitcoin closed the daily yesterday under this value area low that you guys see here on the charts. And so the value area low is sitting here around $92,000, and seeing Bitcoin get below there and close the daily below there was not a great sign. And also, as you guys can see, this demand line here from these lows back in November to these lows in January to now, we closed the daily below that as well. And so we had two different bearish factors here that was pretty much telling me that, okay, we're probably going to be going lower before a bounce. As you guys can see, ever since we closed the daily below those support levels, Bitcoin did drop another 5% or $5,000 pretty much. So far, getting a good bounce at this daily level on Bitcoin. As you guys can see, this daily level was formed back here in November, and we haven't seen it tapped until today. And so got a good bounce off of that liquidity. And overall, I do think that this could be a potential bottom. I do think that there's a potential for us to come down to this SFP level at 85K, where you see this wick from November as well. However, I don't think it's a necessity that we have to see that before higher prices. What I will say, though, is that at this point on BTC, I have a couple of areas that I really need to see flipped if we are to continue higher here. So first area is Monday lows here at 91,300. As you guys can see, looking left on the chart, not only is this yesterday's lows or Monday lows, but daily closes under 91K like we had here in November mean that we are, going lower. We have the potential to retest anywhere from 90 to 87K here. As you can see back here, it was only when we started reclaiming about $90,000 here where we started filling out the upper part of this range. And so closing anywhere under 91K is usually not a great sign. So I'd want to see 91K flipped, but really, just overall, I would really want to see 93 to this value area high to be reclaimed here. So not only is this value area high sitting at 93K, but you also have your previous week low and quarterly open at that same level. And so you've got a lot of resistance above you here on Bitcoin that I would really want to see flipped before I can get bullish again. Now, could I see this happening? Of course I could see it happening. It's very possible that Bitcoin comes up and starts flipping these levels back into support. But honestly, guys, until we start to see that truly happen, it's going to be very, very difficult to start getting macro bullish on Bitcoin again. And so keep those areas on your chart. I do think that overall, if Bitcoin cannot reclaim those levels and Bitcoin loses 85K, we very much have the potential to see Bitcoin coming down a lot lower, guys. So what I mean by that is once Bitcoin broke out of this range back here at the beginning of November, Bitcoin broke out of this range and put in green candle after green candle pretty much all the way to $93,000 here. And so there wasn't a lot of volume built up at these areas. And as a result, because this was undiscovered price action, there is really nothing but air in these levels, guys. There's not a whole lot of support built up from 85 down to $73,000. And so the likelihood of us just moving down from 85K and bouncing somewhere anywhere between 85 and 73 before a reclaim of higher levels on Bitcoin, the likelihood of that is very low. So if 85K is lost on Bitcoin, I would start to look at $73,000 to $74,000 next. And not to scare anyone, but overall, that's just how I see things, and that's where I would potentially see Bitcoin going next if, like I said, 85K is lost. And so just to be frank with you guys, crypto sentiment is at pretty trashy, poor areas. People have lost a lot of money in this market. Alts are down really, really bad. And now Bitcoin is starting to follow suit. And so I do think a local bottom is near just based off of sentiment. But at the same time, one thing I don't like is how equities like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ are looking bearish in themselves. And with there not being very many bullish catalysts in terms of, more free money in the U.S., more free money given out to people, it's harder to find reasons to get macro bullish across the board. Now, even if I say that on this doom and gloom note, like I said, crypto sentiment's pretty bad, and usually crypto bottoms before index funds do, and I will say that. So there is a chance that if Bitcoin bottoms here and Bitcoin starts reclaiming these levels and starts to push higher, then I think index funds could bottom and then we start to go on a bullish rally again. So I won't say all hope is lost, but I would just keep in mind the different areas on the charts that I've talked about today. All right. And then just going through a couple altcoins here, guys. Ethereum actually hasn't made new lows yet. And that's not surprising, guys, just because looking at Ethereum here, ever since we put in that 25% move in one night to the downside, Ethereum starting to bounce here. Why is Ethereum bouncing here? If you ask me, you've got this golden pocket here on Ethereum that the bottom had been hit almost perfectly, and you're getting a nice bounce off of that level now. So you're more than 50% of this wick having been filled at this point. And so for Ethereum, I do think that this chart, it doesn't look bad as long as range lows here at around $2,000 is held. But I can't lie to you guys, like this chart could be in for a lot more choppy price action. Just because you're getting a bounce here, you could see a bounce, rejection, could even see a move to the bottom of the zone and still be fine. And then maybe you see something like that over time. This summer range lasted from August of 2024 to November of 2024. So that lasted 3 months. So thinking that it couldn't do the same thing now before higher is just a lack of patience. And so definitely keep all the scenarios in mind. But what I will say is as long as $2,000 is held here in Ethereum, I'm not going to be looking for lower prices. And so that's pretty much my thoughts here. And then Solana, guys. Solana has been hit very hard over the last couple days with this dumpy price action. And overall, I think Solana may be very well top for the cycle. But do I think Solana is coming to some nice buy levels? Yes, I do think so. Overall on Solana here, I do think that this bullish shark gets filled pretty soon. And you do see $126 Solana pretty soon. But that is a buying opportunity in my opinion. I am looking to buy Sol at those levels. It's also your value area low of your range, and so you have a lot of confluence there. You might even get a full rotation back to your value area high here at 191, and you could make some good money from it. But what I will say is that, is this going to be the catalyst for Solana to make new highs? That I could not tell you guys. What I will say though is prices coming to these lower prices before a bounce, to me, that's what I'm almost certain about. As long as Solana cannot reclaim this point of control at a 143, I would be expecting it to come down and retest this 126 zone, potentially all the way down to these wicks around 113. So keep that in mind. And then another one I wanted to talk about with you guys is Hyperliquid here. So the reason I want to talk about Hyperliquid is throughout this entire lull period from January to pretty much a couple days ago, Hyperliquid was just simply grinding up in terms of price action, like this slow grind up. But ever since this demand line was lost, this started to push very strongly to the downside. And overall, with this move down, Hyperliquid lost 25% of its value in a couple days. So what will I say about this chart now? Well, one thing I do like about Hyperliquid is you have a very, very clean 4-hour SFP now. And so just deleting that demand line, you guys can see that this low from the 9th of January got tapped 3 times here within the past 3-4 hour candles. And you've never seen a 4-hour close under that level. So I would not be one bit surprised to see Hyperliquid put in a move at least back to 21 bucks here. But what I will say, guys, is that I think you still got to be cautious here. Maybe if I take a volume pull, we can start to get some interesting levels here. So got to reclaim this value area low, that's for sure. Let me actually pull it from this high here, make it a little cleaner. Yeah, so I kind of like the way this chart is looking. You want to see value built within this range here and you want to see this value area low at 21 bucks reclaimed, I think the ideal scenario, if you are bullish on Hyperliquid locally, is to see something like this, where price comes, hits that point of control, makes a higher low, and starts to reclaim and re-enter this range. Something like that. I do think that waiting for this first reaction and then the higher low here would be your best bet for entering a fresh position. I think that taking a chance here with stops below, like a 4-hour close under, could be an option, but just keep in mind that, you know, Bitcoin price action is quite bearish, and if Hyperliquid pumps to 23 bucks, I do think that's a scenario where you probably see Bitcoin reclaiming those key levels we talked about earlier, and that would give you a lot more confidence in taking this long, which is at least the way I'm looking at it. And so that's at least the way I'm playing Hyperliquid. And then let's look at one more here for my XRP maxis out there. And so XRP here looking pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. XRP is looking a lot better than some of these other coins. And the reason I'm telling you guys that is overall, you know, XRP, it hasn't made new lows, guys. You know, XRP is still within this range that it's been in ever since the beginning of December. And overall, XRP is a very, very strong coin. And I've been waiting for this value area low and golden pocket to be hit for a while now. And so far, looking pretty damn good. It's been hit, haven't seen a closure below that, and from those lows up 6%. And so what would I be expecting next? I would not be one bit surprised to see XRP get a pump to 2.41, which from current price is 6% up. And so I think XRP continues to push here. As long as it's confined within this range, why not just play the range? That's the way that I'm looking at it. As you can see, if you did play the range this morning with the value area low, golden pocket, you would have been up nicely. And so the one thing I will say, guys, is if on XRP you break out of this range and you start to come down to where this wick from early February was, I would be very interested in fading this wick, waiting for lower, especially near this let's say like fib extension pocket down here at the 272 and 3414. I feel like seeing XRP come down, fill this extension, and then reclaim the bottom of range here could be a great long opportunity. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, guys, so we looked at some of the bigger coins here for you guys today. Here's the thing on Bitcoin, I've got to see those levels reclaimed if we are to get bullish again, but I gave you guys the levels to be aware of, to be watching. And so, you know, don't be surprised in what you see in the market the next couple days. If those levels are reclaimed, we should see higher prices. If those levels are not reclaimed and then they're not even hit and we start to just push lower, then, you know, be prepared for potentially 73k. As long as you have your levels marked, though, guys, you shouldn't be scared. You should be just ready for opportunity and ready to bid your buy levels, and that's what's important. All right, guys, hope this video helped you guys. If you guys stayed till the end of the video, I want you to put in the comment section below, buy the dip, because, you know, we are crypto investors at the end of the day, and volatility is our friend, and we buy the fucking dip, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Definitely like this video if you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to check out any of my future videos. This is Trader Neil signing out. I'll catch you guys for another video very soon. Peace.